All right, guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Knuckle Hub podcast. I'm your host, Josh Sanchez, and I got my co-host here, Jordan.
What's up?
Yeah, so we got a podcast recap of BKFC 65 here in Salt Lake City, Utah. We got Taylor Holder here. A lot of you guys will know him. He's one of the biggest influencers in this country. We got Mike Platinum Perry in the house. And we got Ryan Gardner. He's also a local legend, but also making some national waves with Bucked Up, the founder of Bucked Up. And they are the #1 selling pre-workout in the country. Just fucking crazy.
We like to give them a little bit of energy.
Hell yeah. So guys, what did you guys think about last night's fight card? I just want to get you guys' take. Scale from 1 to 10. What do you guys think generally?
Scale of 1 to 10. 7.5, maybe a 7 because of the main event. Obviously, the main event got a lot of heat. Jade fought smarter, to survive through the fight. And Christine, the story of the main event was that Christine wasn't as dominant as we've seen. And then the co-main event, I think the story was props to the old guy who showed up and fought Little Heathen, Jeremy Stevens, and Stevens didn't look great. He won the fight, but he didn't look great, and he told Utah to spit on that thing.
For real. He really did that.
Spit on that thing.
Hey, what did you say, Jordan, about the fight cards? Only one fight didn't end within the
I think it was only 3 of the fights went to a decision.
Okay.
So it was the main event, the co-main, and then Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. Yeah. That was a good fight. Local Utah guy.
Yeah.
Local Utah guy.
And he was fighting my friend, Diego, who his best round was the 5th round. And it's like he saved too much for too long. And he's the type of guy who's like, this is my dream. This is my dream, Mike. I love this, to be here with you, brother. That's my boy. I like Diego. He's a good heart, good soul. He wants to be a better fighter. And that's the fight game, It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. I would have loved to see how that fight turned out if he would have been that aggressive in the 5th round as at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
Because I think it could have definitely favored him a lot more.
Up to that point, though, there wasn't a single fight that made it out of the 2nd round.
Right.
But also, I feel like, obviously, the cards work in a way where, it gets better as the night goes on. The competition gets better as the night goes on. I feel like the matchmaking was great as far as if guys weren't as experienced, they were a good match for each other and you got some good fight out of it. But they didn't necessarily have the skill that the co-main event had. The co-main event had some skill, both of those guys, and we got to see that. So it's nice when a card continues to get better, but then a lot of the new people in bare knuckle, they quit easily, too easy. Sometimes that's hard. You got to find a little bit better athletes to run the show for.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, some of them get a little unlucky. Like Lehigh got cut right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then, a couple of them, the guy with the ear got his ear cut.
Yeah, those are always a little bummy because you wanted to see
You want to see him. They prepared.
They get caught one good time and there's just a big slit and they can't keep going. So that was the only thing that was like a little bit bummed out last night because there was like some real potential with some really good fights that I thought, and just to see it end with like something like an ear hanging off a little bit or whatever is
that was gnarly.
Definitely got to do what you got to do. But
So what did you say, Taylor? Scale from 0 to 10.
I would honestly be like right there in that 7 for sure. The main event, I was looking for a dogfight. Like that's how it was. I'd seen all the hype coming up to it. I'd seen from just looking at Christine and everything and as well as Jade too. But I think Jade was just fighting for her life in there. I think that they're both very talented fighters. I just think that she was just grabbing a bunch. And for Christine, I think that that's just tough to get out of. It's hard to like really show your dominance and like be like super aggressive and I guess just beat somebody up for 5 rounds if they're just holding on to you the entire time. So
yeah, hell yeah. So I've seen you at a few fights. We've seen you, make an appearance. How'd you get involved in bare knuckle? Was Knuckle Mania 4 the first time you showed up to a?
Where was the 4? Was that in? Was that?
That was in
It
LA.
was LA.
Yeah.
That was my first time ever. So I got into the BKFC scene mainly. I mean, I've loved fighting. I've been fighting for a while anyway, so I'd always loved the fight game. But whenever me and Bryce started beefing a bunch on the internet and all that stuff, and then he was like, he wouldn't box me, and he was like, tell him to fight me in bare knuckle if he's a man and all this stuff. And I was like, send me a contract, and then all this stuff. And then we just started going back and forth. And then they asked us to come out. They asked the bare knuckle one of them asked us to come out to the LA show, and me and Bryce saw each other, and there was a big brawl there. There was a lot of stuff, and so that was my first one. So it was good, warm welcoming to BKFC. I think I had my own BKFC for free. You know?
He's a part of the family now. He got in a fight before the fight.
Yeah,
Fight before the fight.
So who won that? You know, just for the internet, who won that?
Hey, I walked away with nothing done to me. He had a couple. One of his boys got stomped out. Another one, I hit him with like 4 hard hooks.
Someone fell off the stage.
Yeah, Skybo threw a guy off the stage on an accident. Well, it wasn't an accident, but it was just in that moment, like everyone was grabbing everyone, and then I saw a guy go up, and it actually ended up being that what's his name, Mickey or whatever, the big gambler guy that I didn't even know who he was at the time. Or I didn't know, honestly, in that moment. I was, because me and Bryce got into it. I was walking away. He was still chirping, and there was some guy with a camera that was like, "Yeah, you little fucking pussy. Like, Bryce is gonna fuck you up." And I was like, "Who are you?" And he's like shoving his phone in my face. So I just fucking yard saled his phone, and he tried to hit me, and I just like blocked it. And then my boys just like hit him. Yeah, and then Nicky came in there swinging. I just grabbed him, and then we got split up. I was just like, and it was just like, it all happened so fast. And I guess some guy just grabbed Skybo, and he just fucking threw him off the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, we were there. We were
he was
within like 10 feet of that whole situation.
Yeah.
Mike Perry was headlining that fight, He
that was a 10 out of 10 fight right there.
That was 10 out of 10.
Amen, bro. We gotta make the Bryce versus Taylor fight happen. And you know, I went to Jake's ring. You know, he's got the boxing ring, and he showed me a few things with the boxing gloves on. I think it's a very interesting concept if he were to come and try my ring, because I've been so successful with bare knuckle style, the toughness, the grit involved. You know, why not test yourself, especially if you beat up the old guy, Mike Tyson, you know, come do something that people want to see you do. Test yourself, bare knuckle, see if you can box me the same way you did with gloves on in the ring, bare knuckle with me.
Yeah.
And let's see, because I took a chance and a risk to show, you know, bare knuckle could be skilled in the boxing ring. And technically, considering my entire pro career, I had the longest fight I've had. It was over 15 minutes. All my UFC fights, they done at 15 minutes. BKFC, the longest one was MVP at 12 minutes. So I went over 15 minutes, and then, you know, so, and I wasn't able to show everyone, hey, a bare knuckle fighter can really do damage in the boxing ring. You know, Jake did well. So let's see if his boxing translates in bare knuckle.
Let's keep it 100 right now, though. You think he would show up to a bare knuckle fight?
Well, that's the thing. Someone was asking me last night. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you think Jake would get in there in that bare knuckle ring? They're like, I don't know. I said, do you think I will? Absolutely.
Of course.
It's a weird thing, but I mean, why not? I went to yours. You schooled me, I guess. Well, come to mine. Let me see if I can school you. It's just boxing.
Yeah. I feel the need to sell that because I want to fucking see it, right? But you can't deny the amount of times Joe Rogan has said, Mike Perry is born for this fucking sport. You know what I mean? Like, you were just bred and built for this shit.
I'll take it, man. I'm grateful for it. It's tough being a fighter sometimes, you know, highs and lows.
With all of your success in bare knuckle, you're obviously like made for this, like you're stylistically, right? But then you've also been a stellar showman. I remember the first time you ever like was on my radar, it was your UFC debut, and you did that. You were like, "Thought you had a friend, boy." Like, and I was like, dude, who is this man? That's fucking crazy. But is that you just being authentic, or can you train that showmanship?
That was the first time I stole the show from Conor McGregor. That was on UFC 202 when it was Conor versus Nate, the second fight. And, you know, with all his fans that show up to weigh-ins and face-offs, and I had that plan, and it just so happened to be my UFC debut. I was like, when I make it to the UFC, I'm going to dodge the guy's handshake and be like, "Thought you had a friend, boy." And it worked out great. It's, you know, one of my better face-offs. I try to make noise. I try to be cool. That's the name of the game, you know. You're becoming a famous athlete. Kids are looking up to you. I like to be clean. I like to dress fresh. you know, we try to get more girls to be fans of the sport. And, you know, I could learn a few things from Taylor.
Yeah, that's why we need that's why they need Taylor fighting in that sport.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
He's doing his thing.
we
He's
were
2-0 in boxing.
Oh, let's go.
No, the first one was like
Right.
a draw and all this stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then against Gibb, and then they ended up overturning it or whatever.
There you
and
go.
but
It's
then-
2-0. It's 2-0. Right?
No. I
It's
actually,
1-0 or
yeah,
2-0?
it's 1-1 technically, but it was an exhibition. I was 40 pounds lighter than him.
Oh, if
I don't know
it's
if
an
it counts.
exhibition,
I don't know if it.
doesn't
I mean,
count.
I guess it still counts as like a loss.
Well, I'm
but-
0-2 in the boxing ring, bro. So don't worry about it.
Nah, dude, it's all
I
good.
fought
It
a
was.
couple tough
It was
guys.
I like it though, dude. It was my first fight ever in front of, and I walked out in front of like 30,000 people. My heart fell out of my
Damn.
asshole, bro.
Yeah,
I was more than ready. I was sparring Canelo. I was sparring all these people, and I look at my defense was good. If you go watch the fight, like I didn't really get caught that many times, but he just I just didn't let my hands go. I just wasn't aggressive because I was like in the moment. I was being hyped up on that card of that social gloves bullshit of like, this is the best like influencer fighter on the card, da 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 da. And I got in the ring and I was like, don't get knocked out, don't get hit, don't whatever. And there was a million things going through my head, but yeah. And then the second one, I got the second round knockout, but I took it on a 3-day notice and just went in there. I took the phone call on Broadway at a bar. Mams was like, yo, the guy failed his test. You want to come fight in 3 days? I was like, fuck. I literally went outside. I ran a mile and I showed up to the fight.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's the biggest crowd you ever played for? Played some music for?
Played music for? I came out with my buddy Parker McCollum in my hometown, and we played for like 35,000 people.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, like a solo, my own show, probably about 15,000.
But the difference
12,000.
between singing for them and fighting for the crowd.
Yeah,
What was that like?
for me, way more nerve wracking to fight. I mean, it's just the risk to reward there is like you have a moment where the worst what happens on stage, you sound like shit. They post it online and you're like, this guy sucks ass, right? All right, cool. Or you get absolutely fucking folded in front of the entire world and you're just laying there like this, and then there's all these memes. I feel like that's worse, man. You know what I mean? So it's a little scarier, I guess, going out there and fighting somebody. But
How long you guys been homies for?
shit.
I just met him.
Shoot, about 20, 25 minutes.
No, it's actually funny. We just met.
Dude, man.
Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday?
Yeah.
It feels like I've known this motherfucker for like 5 years
Nah,
now.
you're killing the game,
Yeah,
bro. I'm
appreciate
proud
that,
of
man.
you. Happy for you. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, sir.
You know, you just, when you carry yourself a certain type of way, you just demand respect, and usually those people are kind people as well. So I'm actually really nice. A lot of people don't know it.
Dude,
but
I
I'm
just
so
said
nice.
that yesterday actually, because obviously I've always seen this guy from probably like what a lot of other people from me is just from behind the screen. And,
Right.
he's got like this bare knuckle fighting background, this big mean guy or whatever. And you kind of, you make up your own impression of people from seeing them. And like everybody off camera, they would come up, ask about the fights or whatever. And he was like, they're trying their best, man. They're doing really good. They're this. He would like take like his time and just talk to everybody. I was like, this guy's like one of actually like the most soft-spoken and nicest motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. And you just wouldn't expect that. You know what I mean? So
Some people can be weird. Like last night I was using the bathroom. I was peeing. And the whole bathroom was talking.
Mike, they're looking at you.
while he's
Okay.
pissing, like
There was
That's
like,
a trip.
and with those toilets, they were definitely looking. They were like, yo, I saw Mike Perry's junk, bro.
yeah.
Hey.
No man code when Mike Perry's in the room. Just
Yeah.
everyone
A
fangirls
couple
over
of
Mike
people
Perry.
were backing me up, but they were like, let him go,
Yeah.
man.
I was
Leave him
I was
alone.
pissing at first before he walked in, and then he walked in, and then I started to walk out, and they were like, "Yo, that's Mike. That's Mike. Da, da. Yo, Mike. Yo, so what's going on?" Da, 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 da. And he's like pissing. He's like, "Yo, hold on, let me finish real quick." And they're just like, and I was like, "I'm gonna stand here for a second at least."
No, shout out to the fans in Utah, man. They were one of the best parts of the show. I'll give them an 8.5.
Yeah.
They made the show last night, and Brian Social, I was saying he got a tough job getting people active, getting people cheering and going. That's an awkward job. He's jumping up on the rails, trying to get people excited for the next fight. Good for him, man.
He's like that every show too.
Yeah.
Every event we've gone to,
I think he's got
like
a little
that.
bucked up energy.
Right, he got bucked up before the show.
I'm telling you, bro, that man was doing some acrobatic shit.
I think they were taking shots of bucked up at the club last night, dude.
Yeah,
A couple of people were.
that's dope. Ryan, what would you say the event was?
I've actually been to quite a few events. I actually got spoiled. The very first event, We signed to be the title sponsors at BKFC, and we went to Denver. We saw Mike fighting Luke Rockhold, and it was like UFC type atmosphere. So I got really, really spoiled. So, I mean, I would say this was a 7, 6.5, 7. It was still good, but I'm telling you, the energy that you have at some of these other events with some other big names that, you know, like Mike in LA, it was awesome. That was a great event.
LA showed a lot of love.
It was great.
That card.
Yeah. Even BKFC 56 was 3 times as big. So
Yeah, here in Utah, when we had, you know, all those guys prior, the last one, it was a great atmosphere fight. Right, but the end of the season, basically, end of the year, last year, it was really good. I mean, he always puts on a good show. So when you have Eddie Alvarez and Mike Perry in there fighting the way they were, and they were dropping bombs, it was awesome.
Yeah, you know, the girls had an opportunity last night with that main event, and it's just the like I said, the fight game is that roller coaster, you know, and I expected Christine, even though props to Jade for getting the fight and making it work and finding her way to slow the fight down. You know, just the offensive ability we expected from Christine, and it just wasn't there. You know, sometimes stuff is out of your control.
Yeah, let's deep dive that. What are your guys' perspectives on that, opinions?
You know, how can we make it entertaining now, you know, by talking about it? They suck.
No, I actually already expressed my opinion even when we were talking about the sell-through of the tickets and everything. I'm like, hey, with the main event being the two women and making sure that that's an unbelievable fight, which we thought it was going to be, but then now you have to take a look and go, hey, can they actually be the main card? Can they be the main fight? At the end of the day, you want to go out with a bang, because people's impression, sometimes it's the first and sometimes it's the last. So it's got to be a really, really good fight. And they took their chance.
Yeah, I think there was like such a big moment for it, because I feel like even with like women's boxing, until like Amanda or like whatever, until you get some like really talented girls in there, it's like everyone just kind of is like, nah, women's fighting. You know what I mean? I think that there are some really talented people out there. It's just who wants it, right? And last night with it was, they had a big moment to prove something, to show that women's bare knuckle boxing belongs in the main events, and they belong there and they can do it. I think it's just they missed a moment. It's not impossible to get it back. It's just
I missed out on some of the build-up for it, for the card, for some of the press conference, the fighters talking trash to each other. I think the stories we tell before the fight, the week of the fight, you know, you see that come out on fight night. And I feel like maybe the buildup was a little lackluster. I didn't really see clips or highlights of them talking shit to each other. And that helps people's, you know, build that animosity to really try to hurt someone in the fight. And that's the goal.
Yeah. So you're saying that affected the ticket sales?
I'm sure it did.
Too.
I'm sure it did.
You know, when me and Eddie were here at a press conference, I tried to, you know, I wore my hat. I had my mountain man hat on, and I was, you know, like, yeah, we're in Utah, and I was talking shit to Eddie, like, fuck you, I'm gonna mess you up. And people, you know, that lures people in. Okay, well, let's see if he can back up what he was talking about. And,
you guys sat down face to face on chairs, neck face to face.
Yeah, you know. You got to ask for that stuff when you're the champ, and you want people to pay attention and watch. Yes, you could do the good stuff. Talk to the kids. Tell them, hey, I was here. I was there in life, and I turned it all around. I'm doing better. But then I said it in L.A. I was like, I'm here to talk my shit. Don't be afraid to speak about it, because you about to go out there and perform. When you're the one going out there to perform, that's when you really need to dig deep and say, to get the people's attention. You got to say something nasty, something mean.
One difference that I did notice at this time was that they actually didn't even have a press conference at all. And so I think that was part of it. It was just the weigh-ins, you know.
Yep.
And they didn't have any press conference at all.
I think you came
You got to give them a chance to talk shit to each other to build up a little bit of hype.
But to be fair, to play devil's advocate here, you know, because a lot of the comments, especially online, were like, oh, you know, women's like women can't have like a main event. But when we saw in Sturgis, Britton Hart and Taylor Starling. That was a fire fight, That so like I don't know if it's like women can't like main, headline a card, but I don't know what happened, last night. Jad was kind of playing it safe. The clinch game was crazy, if you want to put it in a positive light. Clinch game was crazy over there, but I think that leads into, though, also like Christine has been such a dominant champion. Mm-hmm. She's basically cleared out the top 5, right? So it's like, who else is left for Christine to go against, right?
A big
like,
name to come in.
Yeah, it almost seems like you're
like they've done with me in my career.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have a line of people waiting out the door. And obviously Jade was she was an underdog that people were rooting for. She trains hard. And she did what she had to do, but there was no offensive attack ability really on either side. I mean, I know Christine does have the ability, but the way Jade was moving her head, Christine couldn't get a beat on it. And, she would duck every time. And I'm like, the uppercut is there. I felt like I saw that in a few fights. Like, they're ducking every time. Throw the damn uppercut.
100%. So you were spending some game for the BKFC, like the up-and-coming BKFC fighters. You're saying how to put on a show, how to attract an audience.
And you got to post, too. And, it's hard when you're the fighter and you don't want to become that meme. But, dude, like, this is your shot. Let people know about you. Get on your story. Get on your Instagram. Make a post. Say, if you don't even have bad animosity with your opponent, just talk about what they look like. Like, with Eddie, it was easy because he was bald. I don't like the baldies very much. So it's like, whoa. You can talk shit about the baldies. It's different when Eddie has no choice. He bald.
That's clowning.
I mean, aside from that, I don't know who Christine could fight next. You have like Dr. Sarah Shell or like La Busadora, Christine Vicens. But even though they're 2-0, but it almost seems like we're gonna need like a like a cyborg fight to make sure that the 125 pounds women.
Where's the big punching women? Yeah. Hard punchers. I mean, Christine is one. I was very surprised to see that performance from her yesterday. And maybe it's not so much of what she didn't do. Maybe it's more of what Jade did to slow it down. But, I remember MVP grabbing me like a mug. Way more than I thought he was going to grab me. I thought we was going to box. And he grabbed onto both of my arms, and I was wiggling through like, let me go. You got to wiggle, man. You gotta create that wiggle room, bro.
Got to wiggle.
That's dope. So what's the future for you and BKFC?
Oh, man. Well, David Feldman post-fight press conference last night, he said, look who's closing out the year, boy. Yeah, the biggest event of the year. At the end of the year, Platinum is here. Have no fear.
Platinum is here.
Actually, I did have one more from the event last night. Kyle McElroy, the Irishman.
Yeah.
What was up with that?
Little baldy lie.
Like as soon as he won, he was like, "Fuck my Perry, I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah,
like,
look, I said this last night. He was fanboyish and on Instagram and stuff, and then he got to the point where he was talking his shit. He's looking for attention. He's 2-4 in BKFC, and I know the last time he went to sleep. Last time he fought BKFC, he was out, cold, unconscious for like 5 minutes. So, he did the most viral thing he could do, I guess, at that time, was just flick me off and get me a little bit invested in his ring time. And, whatever. When I was walking out last night, I saw him holding his daughter. And I was walking past him, and I was just like, thumbs up, buddy, because you got your daughter in your hands, and I mean, it costs a lot of money for me to fight. I do it for free too. I like a little free ball, every now and then. I like to mess around, but should be headlines, and I don't want to get in trouble or get charged and he didn't do nothing. You want to do something? Come step up. Like bucked up. We got that deer on there. Shoot your shot, bro. You see the buck in the headlights. you shoot your shot.
That's our new tagline right there.
But you ever seen that video where the guy let the turkey out of the semi and then the car hit the turkey and then you got the other half of the video and the guy's like 70 miles an hour. It went right through his windshield. He got turkey blood all over him, smashed the turkey. You know, that might have been that buck. And if that was a buck coming through your window, boy, them antlers going to take you out. I don't know what that analogy means, but you get it, though.
Crazy, bro.
That's fucked up.
You get it right. That's
crazy,
fucked up right there.
I get what you're saying.
That's fucked up.
You shoot your shot, bro.
Yeah.
That's hella. So Taylor, if you don't fight Bryce Hall in the BKFC ring, who would you fight?
I mean,
would you?
I'm so
Anyone
new
else?
to that world still of like the bare knuckle side that I don't really know who's even in the roster of my weight division. But I was talking to Dave last night, and we were all talking with the teams, and we want to make something happen regardless. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and waste forever waiting on this kid to finally do something about it. I don't do the internet talking shit. Like, you know, I got involved in that stuff a long time ago, and I'm just like too grown for it. It's like we'll talk shit when it's time to talk shit, but it's like don't talk shit for no reason. Yeah. It's like,
you know who's 0-1 in boxing? Dylan Dennis.
oh yeah,
Dylan Dennis.
yeah. Dylan is my boy though.
Oh,
he is.
we
yeah,
were
he's-
talking about fighting.
But I mean,
it was
it's-
no
I mean,
animosity, but he's
it's-
trying to
yeah,
be hateful.
dude. At the end of the day, it's a business. I mean, if they want to write us both a check and make it all make sense, then I mean,
It's hard when it's your boy.
yeah,
though, I
you know,
get
it's
that.
different. It's different.
I didn't know that.
Like that would be like if me and Mike were fighting. Like I don't want to go in there and fuck up my boy. Like what you mean? Like, you know?
Oh, hey, shots fired.
Yeah.
Hey.
We had the bottle girls in the club last night. They brought us the sign and it said Holder versus Perry.
Yeah.
And we did a little face off.
Yeah.
We can fight, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
And but dude, I mean, I just
I
love
need
to
to
fight.
win in
I mean,
boxing.
It's a
0-2.
business at the end of the day. If it all makes sense, then I'll do there. I'll be there. But I'm just waiting on a real offer because you know I do have the whole country music thing working, and we're doing. I mean, dude, I just played 7 festivals this last month. You know, so it's very time consuming, and you guys, I'm sure you understand. You know, like how crazy camps are. I mean, it's hard to do both of them at the exact same time. But whenever the music industry slows down, you know, I want to still fight once or twice a year, no matter what. You know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open.
When
I'm
did that
open to
transition
everything.
happen for you to get in? When did you start getting into country music?
So
don't know
it's
about
so funny because everyone thinks I'm like this like TikTok pussy from LA that just like does a bunch of cringy dance videos on the internet, which I understand because
I understand.
I do get it because I definitely was that guy. But it was just paying the bills at the time. You know, I grew up in a super small town right outside of Fort Worth, Texas. You know, team roping with my dad, in and out of rodeos my whole life, professional athlete racing dirt bikes, like all this other stuff, and I just never like showed all of that. But so I moved out of LA 2.5 years ago, and moved to Nashville. I was making like pop music out in LA, but I've been making music since I was probably 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really know how to like make it and post it and do all the stuff. But
There's a
yeah,
really
so-
great video I saw the other day.
Don't you
Taylor,
fucking-
100
don't you
bullets.
say-
Look it up.
Dude, what'd you just say to me? No, I mean,
One of your songs
Hey, I
is
saw that
getting-
video.
One of your songs is like what, 60 million downloads or views or listens?
no,
From Going Gold?
No, I made a joke about that.
Oh, okay.
It's actually doing good. It's only been out for like 2 months and it's got like 5 million streams. So
Okay.
that's really good for us. You know, we're super new to the music side of everything as well still. But now to go gold, you need like 75 million streams overall.
Yeah.
And so I was like, guys, I can't fucking believe it. We're only 70 million streams away from gold, yo.
Yeah, some
And,
of those videos though get so many fucking views. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
okay. You know what I mean?
We're just trying to figure out what works, man. We're trying to get the music out there, and I love it, dude. So
Taylor, what's your number one song?
my number one song right now, Nothing But Neon is the number one song right now.
No,
Yeah,
it's
great
fire.
song. We tried something different with it, man. We did more like the trappy country instead of that real authentic country
It's fire.
stuff. A
I'm
little bit of,
getting
like, a
into that
Morgan
white culture, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
Dude, I'm
good
taking.
stuff.
We're leaving here, and I'm taking
It's
him to
good
Jason
stuff.
Aldean with me tonight.
Oh, that's
So we got Jason Aldean tonight. I'm gonna put him on the country wave, and then I got my buddy Chase Matthew opening for Jason as well. So
If I'm not mistaken, the country like genre right now is the top genre, right?
it's massive. Yeah, it is.
Above
It's at
hip
the
hop
top.
and everything, right? That's crazy.
Everyone's
That's crazy.
Everyone's going to country, man. Everyone.
And this guy still wants to fight.
yeah.
He could be a damn superstar just singing country music to little white girls around the world, and he's gonna
I mean,
He's like, you know what? I want to get in the ring and punch on somebody.
I love it, man. I don't know. I could.
Something
I mean,
about it.
sure. I mean, I'm making plenty of money at these shows and music and all that stuff to where I don't even need to go fight. I don't need money. That's why I even told Bryce all that stuff. He was like, he wants a payday. I was like, I'll donate my entire purse to charity. I just love it. I'll do it. I don't care.
So what's the hitch there?
So what with that?
Yeah.
I just don't think he wants to fight. I really don't know, man. We've talked back and forth. He was asking for like a ridiculous amount of money, like a lot of money, like way too much money. Millions. And we just were going back and forth, and they were like, yeah, it was kind of funny because they told us that they're like, yeah, BKFC doesn't actually want, they don't want to do it, whatever, and they were trying to pin it on BKFC, I think. And so I was like, all right, well then let's box. They're like, all right, bet, we're gonna try to figure it out. We're talking to promoter, like our teams were talking and trying to see who could pay the most money. We went to like the Saudi Arabia side of everything, trying to like just get the money,
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a real offer yet, but at the end of the day, it's like, fuck it. I even told his manager, I was like, yo, at the end of the day, like there's a real story there. There's a real narrative. There's real beef. Fuck it. Like fuck cameras, fuck money, fuck everything. Drop me an address offline, no cameras, nothing. Well, I'll just pull up and we can do it real quick. We could do that as well.
I mean, I saw some of the videos today of their little squabble at the bare-knuckle event that I hadn't seen on social media. I was like, oh, I mean, there's a good story there. And I bet bare-knuckle would get behind it. Mr. Feldman would definitely make that fight.
Maybe, man.
Let's go,
They
Dave.
can find the right weight classes, work it out.
Because I'm a lot heavier than him right now, and you're
bigger.
But he cut weight. I mean,
but at the end of the day, if I'm cutting weight, I'm still the bigger man because once I rehydrate the next day, I'm gonna be 15 pounds heavier still.
His only fight in BKFC though was with the dude that was 40 pounds lighter, right? Cutman.
Yeah,
he was like 40 pounds lighter.
I don't know if he was 40 pounds. G's a good fighter.
But G was 35, right?
He competes at 135, yeah.
But he drops a lot of weight to get there, too.
He drops a lot, yeah.
Okay.
So he probably weighed 150.
Yeah, probably 150, 155 when he fought Bryce.
Yeah.
He looked big.
Decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but Bryce he's little, man. He's 5'9", like 175 pounds or 180 pounds. I'm 6'2" at like 205 right now.
Yeah.
So
So is that why he beat you at the punching machine? Because of the size?
No, I think they didn't give me another punch.
I told him, dude.
I was going back.
He would have beat me. He would have beat me if
he was ready to go again. Mike was ready to.
That's okay, man. He can have that one, man. You know what? I don't have nothing to prove no more in fighting. When I fight my next fight, it'll be because I'm an adrenaline junkie and I like to fight.
Anyone can stand there and punch something really fucking hard. If we get in the ring, there's about 100% chance
I don't know.
he's
There was
fucking
some
me up.
pretty bad people punching that damn box.
Yeah,
there was some pretty bad ones.
I was one of them.
Not
Dude, there was some dude there. There was some dude there that was like actually like 370 pounds. He was like 6'7", like just massive, and was like open hand slapping it, and like was hitting it with his forearm. And I was like, "What is this getting into right now?"
Now everyone has sore wrists from punching that thing so many times.
Yeah.
So speaking of slap, so like no fighters really co-sign that shit with Dana White. All fighters are like, we hate slap, but slap, Dana loves it. It's his baby, and no one ever talks about it. And I'm like, man, I could just do it on my Instagram. I asked a fighter the other day. I was like, bro, we'll flip a coin. You win the coin toss. You choose to go first. You slap me hard.
Hell yeah.
And then back out. You slap me once, and before I slap you back, you quit. You give up. That'd be a viral video. I started doing my own platinum slap league just to get the videos. Because he ain't paying nothing but $2,000 to those guys.
To get knocked out.
And those guys,
it's like 100% chance that someone's going to sleep.
Those guys that are on there, some of them, I don't watch it, but I be seeing clips on social media, and when I see it, I'm like, all right, let me check it out. And they are talking trash to each other, and then they go out there and they either get knocked out or they knock someone out. It's funny, man.
Yeah, that's a weird sport, man. Dana's gonna die on that shield, though. We asked an interesting question to Brian Sosha. We asked Brian who would win in a bare-knuckle fight, Dana White or Dave Feldman. He's like, Dave Feldman would take.
Feldman is...
He's a boxer, man.
He's a beast, bro.
Yeah.
But I
He
mean,
fought.
Dana would say the same.
He punched that thing and didn't even look like he tried, and it was like 35.
Damn, I wish we got to see Dana
Okay,
versus
so-
Tito, man.
10,000 on the line right now. Bet. David Feldman or Dana White. David Feldman, Dana White. 10,000 on the line. Bare knuckle.
I'm gonna go with Feldman, man. I think he got a. I mean, Dana's angry. He can yell. But Feldman, I think, can scrap.
The history, we read a book, the bare knuckle book. Who's the main guy?
Bobby Gunn.
Bobby Gunn of Bobby Gunn's life. And Dave said that he would substitute when fighters would fall out. He would fight in their place, right? That's crazy.
Do you remember one time it was at the
75-0, something like
Bobby
that.
Gunn?
Bobby
Yeah.
Gunn?
Like so.
Yeah, Bobby Gunn's.
I met him in L.A.
Yeah,
He was telling me something about when he make a fist and he put his pinky in there first. And I always, when I do bare knuckle, I try to get these to be even so that when I land, I can land with the two good ones. But my fist always ends up sticking out weird. And that's why I put that thing through Eddie's eye. And he actually said that that's probably the better way to make a fist. Is with that finger sticking out like that.
You got the legend Bobby Gunn telling you that you figured out a better strategy. That's
Feldman gave me a good strategy too. After my first fight with Julian Lane, I beat my hands up so bad. Like after the first round, my coach was saying something to me. I was like, bro, my hands, bro. He was like, damn, I get it. After that fight, I didn't have a problem again because Feldman called me and told me, he was like, these guys squeeze their fists as hard as they can. And, when you be boxing, you be open hand and then you try to close it at the last second sometimes. Yeah, that shit was tearing my hands up until you guys just squeeze your fist so hard. That's the king of bare knuckle gave me that one, man. Mr. Feldman.
He just gave out the tip.
I did. My next opponent, he better squeeze that motherfucker.
when you're there fighting in the bare knuckle ring, I've heard people like you're saying, you guys squeeze that shit. But then, like, are you stiff, or is it better to you see some boxers they're kind of
that's
loose.
the hard part, right?
Yeah.
You gotta be loosey goosey, and you gotta be a little stiff too. You gotta learn how to move while you're stiff. And you want to squeeze that fist because we're talking in bare knuckle. Like, if I'm protecting myself, my hands are up, and I shoot a shot. When I shoot that shot, there's about this much space before my fist lands and connects. So if there's a millisecond where I'm closing, I'm open, and then I'm closing my fist as on contact, or if I'm already squeezing and I just shoot that shot, I mean, it's a split second. So you already got to be ready to land a damaging blow.
Do you think there could ever be like a Floyd in bare knuckle boxing in the sense of like defense, or do you think it's just such a?
I mean, Tris, the number one pound for pound right now. They've talked to me about that fight too, but he only has a belt at 165, and I can't go that low. 175 is kind of out of the question for me at this point. And I've been having so much success here at 185. And I even went up to fight Jake Paul at 200. I drank 7 glasses of water just to weigh in that morning because I just couldn't get that big. But I also can't get that small. 175 against Eddie, I was dry. I was sucked out. So, it's a toss-up, man. I kind of forgot the point on that one.
Yo, we got to address the one thing, though, before you guys leave, the Conor McGregor situation. I know he tweeted, you've mentioned a few times since then.
Conor called out a 145er in Jeremy Heathen Stevens. He's like, maybe me and who the fuck is that guy can fight one day. No, brother, you know the fight. You know where the fight is. I don't need animosity. You can talk all the shit you want. I got money. I got money now, too. Maybe I ain't on my Lambo yacht, but that's fine. That's just fine. I'm eating good. I got a pool. My cars are nice and fast. I can dress and I can fight. And, he got beat up by Floyd in boxing. I lost a boxing match.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay,
let's fight in bare knuckle. Let me fight Jake Paul and Conor McGregor in bare knuckle, man.
Oh, that shit would tear down. That would be the biggest
It makes sense.
pay-per-view events, 100%. 100%. Oh, That'll draw the biggest crowd.
I guess what's next for? I know the fight has been announced, but tell the crowd what's coming up for Mike Perry.
Well, hearsay. End of the year, I'm closing out the year for BKFC. There's still plenty of time to get ready in between now and then. I've taken my time, my rest. I've recovered well. I'm recharged and I'm ready to go. Get in the gym more often when I'm not doing business, when I'm not needed elsewhere on a podcast. So, we wanted to work out this morning. I need a little extra sleep. We was partying, celebrating at the club last night. Life is good. You celebrate it. And, I'll take a short notice call. It only takes me 2 weeks to get in shape. And then, 2 more weeks, we fine-tuning details. So they're gonna give me a couple of months. Obviously, they already did by saying it's not like I've signed the bout agreement yet. It's not like it's been in my face already, but it's all hearsay, speculation. So I'll be ready to go at the end of the year. We're gonna have a banger of a Christmas and a New Year's, and I look forward to once again showing the world. All the haters hating on me, they don't mean anything. There's still lots of support. There's still lots of people who know a Platinum Mike Perry fight when it's coming, that they are, if they tune in, they're due for a show. You know what I mean? Because I give it all I got. I go out on my shield if I have to. I didn't even go out. I get up every time if I can, and I got a few more things that I want to fix. I actually got something to fix. I've been winning for 3 years. So I was running out of ideas on things I needed to fix about my fighting. Even when I was on a 6-fight win streak, people was like, he sucks this, sucks at that. And there was still people like, he's great. And after that, I don't have nothing to prove, but I could show all these motherfuckers anytime I wanted to. The whole damn stadium last night could have came at me, and I would have had a good time.
Motherfuckers out left and right.
Just knocking people out.
All right, Taylor, what do you have to say to the BKFC fans who you've now hinted at maybe making a debut?
Man. Yeah, what's next for me? Obviously we're gonna keep blasting this music out, man. We're gonna keep getting it out and keep crushing in that world, and then we're just gonna keep negotiating. We're gonna make a fight happen eventually, wherever it's at. I want to do something different too, man. Like I did my first fight in front of a lot of people. It was my first one, so it's cool. It happened. And then my second one, I took on a 3-day notice. I don't think I've had a moment to really showcase like what I'm actually capable of and what I can actually do in the ring, man. And so I want to get back in there. I want to do something different. We have influencers that done boxing. We got, Bryce obviously did the influencer with bare-knuckle. Like, I want to do a cage fight, man. Like, I want to do something that's like, I don't know. Like, I want to do something that no one's done yet. You know what I mean? So if there's anybody out there that wants to do a cage fight, start talking shit, I guess. Hey, let me know something, man. But
and then
super dope. And then I want to let our audience know, you guys, if you guys don't know who Ryan Gardner is, he's a fucking titan in the business world. He the valuation of Bucked Up right now is $800 million, and they're chasing $1 billion. So that's phenomenal.
God, it must suck to be in poverty.
With your presence today, I just wanted people to know who the fuck you are too.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You guys have been the primary sponsor for BKFC for 2 years now. Do you want to close out with any shout out, any new products coming out, anything that
We do have a collaboration with Bare Knuckle Fighting. And we also did some flavors with Platinum Mike Perry here. And we tested out a couple flavors. We picked one. We think it's going to be real good. So be ready for that in the next month or two. It's going to be really good. I've always enjoyed every time I go to watch a Mike Perry fight. I'm never disappointed. I'd love to see Taylor fighting in the BKFC. It would be awesome. I'm kind of throwing him in there saying, do it. Trying to work Dave Feldman to get him in there. But it would be awesome to see these guys fight. So,
all right, Jordan.
Hold on, one more thing. I got one more thing here.
Okay. I don't know.
Pulling out
Is
something.
it Christmas?
You giving him a roll or? Okay.
Oh,
I thought you were
merch.
holy dog.
We got
Okay.
merch.
Awesome. Thanks,
Take
man.
care, everyone. Black or white.
Awesome.
Oh damn. No choice.
There you go,
let's
guys.
go.
All right, Knuckle Cup. Thanks for tuning into an episode of the BKFC 65 recap. This is our first time doing a recap video of the fights. We'll be doing more of these. But thank you guys for joining us today. Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us on.
Peace.
We out.